Hi, Robert. I'm trying to figure out how to send you a quick tutorial on this bigger GarageBand, and I'm using Mason Tyrrell's music to describe it to you. I wanted to send you the whole file. I can't figure it out, so I figured I'd just show it to you from here. This is the notation I was telling you about. Default is usually piano roll, which is exactly what the top is. You want to hit score and watch what happens. I think you're going to love this song. Mason used piano to start, and then he went into vibes and string. I'm going to hang it down. You can also vary the tempo. Up here, I'm not. I turned off the time quantize because you don't want it to be perfect. You want it to slow down when you want to. He was just sitting and playing. This notation is automatic. He's just sitting and playing. He's improvising. He did the piano by itself. Do you hear what just started? The vibes and the strings. There's the vibes. Isn't this beautiful? I was very proud of him. So I'll go back to the more interesting. This is the piano notes. He probably just gonna let it play. You can edit the note, you can change the notes. But I wouldn't change a single note. There's tutorials when you leave. Oh, not nice. It's the vibes. String chords. This is on a desktop. But he and I both learned a lot doing this. Started with piano, which you've already figured out, MIDI, downstairs, how to put it in. And then he added the other parts. Let me get back to piano. Now, it's not moving anymore because I screwed up, because I hit something. I've been messing around with the mouse, that's why. It's not supposed to stop. Isn't that an extraordinary piece? He just whipped that off. The piano part, he just sat and played it. I'm sure he had been working on it at home. Stop. Oh, I think it did stop. But so he laid down the piano part, but then I don't know if I'm going to be able to change. You're just sit and look at my face. He whipped off the piano part, but then what took a while, several takes, was playing back the piano part as he's deciding what instrument to put on, how much of the instrument. He was about 20, maybe 19 years old at the time, maybe 20. I think he's about 23 or 24 now. And this was 4 years ago, yeah. And he surprised himself. Like, I walked out of the room. Once I saw things were going, I walked out of the room and just kind of observed from the other outside of the room, like the kitchen. And he found out that less is more. Like, originally he put on a ton of strings. He decided that really, less is more. If you notice, he was just building. You can listen to it again. Rewind this video. He also decided that the less is more on the vibraphones. He, put on too much at the beginning. So those kind of additional things took a little while. Again, it's the mixture of creative art and then realizing, and then self-editing, and then realizing, throwing the whole wazoo at everything is actually not probably something I want to do. So, but you got to figure out that yourself. So that was really cool to watch. And then he left, and I said, okay, I will send this to you somehow. I will either put it on a USB drive and send it. And 4 years ago, I figured out how to send it to him. And then I hit the score button, because default is piano roll, like we've discussed. And then, I should tell you that this moves. Ooh. And you know what? I don't need two piano. This is default, right? So just scroll this thing up. And then I just started hitting buttons just to see what would happen. And you should have seen my eyeballs when this popped up. Oh my God. So I printed out his music. I figured out how to put it on a Control P, I guess. Command P, Control P. Let's see what happens. Page 1 to 6. Yeah, let's see what the PDF looks like. Preview, open and preview. Yeah, look. Now, if Mason himself was to pick up these 6 pieces of music, he would go, oh my God. Now, these yucky pedal marks, that's his pedal. It means he's, he doesn't even realize what he's doing. He's fluttering the pedal a lot. I tried to remove them, but guess what? This thing is so smart. If you move the pedal, remove this pedal mark, it removes the effect of the pedal. So I couldn't do that. So you kind of got to get used to those smudges. But back to, you see all these and you go, oh my God, this is a hard song to learn. But then you realize he didn't look at this music. This music was created from the program. This is only if he wants to teach it to somebody else. Now, here's the thing. If you are going to record it and if you're going to ask other musicians to play with you, then you are going to need to notate it. But, this world that you and I live in, certainly back 15 years ago, 20 years ago, everybody had to be able to read music. There were the notable exceptions when you had an incredibly good ear, such as the Beatles never learned how to read music. But they would struggle when they wanted to add string section. That's why they had George Martin, because he was a classically trained guy who could read music that could say, okay, I'm going to arrange, which means notate the music so that we can hire a string quartet on Eleanor Rigby, you know? So this is what current music teachers are struggling with all the time. They know that you can get pretty far now with the software that GarageBand and Finale, and there's so many different ones, that even the Finales, remember that we had a Finale at the high school. Mr. Gould knows about Finale. And he can teach that to you at length, which is wonderful. The school owns, it's expensive, but the school owns an account. But for composers, Dr. K will tell you that you just sit there and play it and up it pops. You don't have to sit and take a pencil anymore. But you still have to be able to read it, because you want to be able to do two things. You want to be able to sit down and just play for your own amusement and own severe enjoyment. And then you also want to be able to teach other people, or at least say the chord changes. Tell me the chords, you know? So that so I need to make sure that you can read chords and be able to accompany either yourself or your brother or your friends. But you could do, you could lay down the chord accompaniment to your own solo fest and then play it back and play the saxophone to it, So, okay, I'll stop talking, but I'm going to, in the meantime, continue to figure out how to send this to you. Thanks for watching. Hi to everybody. Bye, Robert.